Hey everybody, it's Lisa Purdy. I'm back with you again today reading through the book of Genesis. I'm using the amplified version of the Bible, but feel free to bring and read along with whatever you have. Let's get started. I'm on chapter 47. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh, "My father and my brother, with their flocks and their herds and all that they own, have come from the land of Canaan, and they are in the land of Goshen." And from among his brothers he took 5 men and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to his brothers, "What is your occupation?" And they said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, both we and our fathers before us." Moreover, they said to Pharaoh, "We have come to sojourn in the land, for your servants have no pasture for our flocks, for the famine is very severe in Canaan. So now we pray you that let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen." Pharaoh spoke to Joseph, saying, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Make your father and your brothers dwell in the best of the land. Let them live in the land of Goshen, and if you know of any men and ability among them, put them in charge of my cattle." Then Joseph brought in Jacob, his father, and presented him before Pharaoh, and Jacob pleased Pharaoh. And Pharaoh asked Jacob, "How old are you?" Jacob said to Pharaoh, "The days of my years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and they have not attained to those of the life of my fathers in their pilgrimage." So he's saying, look, I'm 130. It's not even as long as some of my fathers have lived, and I have not had very many evil days in those years. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from his presence. Joseph settled his father and brethren and gave them a possession in Egypt in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, which is Goshen, as Pharaoh commanded. Joseph supplied his father and his brethren and all his father's households with food, according to the needs of their families. In the course of time, there was no food in all the land, for the famine was distressingly severe, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan hung in doubt and wavered by reason of the hunger, destitution and starvation of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt, in the land of Canaan, in payment for the grain which they bought, and Joseph brought the money in Pharaoh's house. And when the money was exhausted in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us food. Why shall we die before your very eyes? For we have no money left." Joseph said, "Give up your livestock, and I will give you food in exchange for them, if your money is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and he gave them food in exchange for the horses, flocks, cattle of the herds, and the donkeys, and he supplied them with food in exchange for all their livestock that year. When that year was ended, they came to Joseph the second year and said to him, "We will not hide from my lord the fact that our money is spent. My lord also has our herds of livestock, and there is nothing left in sight of my lord but our bodies and our lands. Why should we perish before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land in exchange for food, and we and our land will be servants to Pharaoh. And give us the seed to plant, that we may live and not die, and that the land may not be desolate." Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field because of their overwhelming severity of the famine upon them. The land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities and practically made slaves of them at their own request, from one end of the border of Egypt to the other. Only the priest's land he did not buy, for the priests had a fixed pension from Pharaoh and lived on the amount Pharaoh gave them, so they did not sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, "Behold, I have today bought you and your land for Pharaoh. Now here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. At harvest time, when you reap the increase, you shall give 1/5 of it to Pharaoh. 4/5 shall be your own to use for seed for the field and as food for you and those of your households for your little ones." And they said, "You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the sight of my lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants." And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt to this day that Pharaoh should have the fifth part of the crops. It was the priest's land only, which did not become Pharaoh's. Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they gained possessions there and grew and multiplied exceedingly. Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So it makes him 147. So Jacob reached the age of 147 years. Sorry, I didn't read ahead. When the time drew near that Israel must die, he called his son Joseph and said to him, "If now I have found favor in your sight, put your hand under my thigh and promise to deal loyally and faithfully with me. Do not bury me, I beg of you, in Egypt." If you remember that same, when Jacob was given his blessing, he put his hand under his father's thigh as well. "But let me lie with my fathers. You shall carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burying place." And Joseph said, "I will do as you have directed." Then Jacob said, "Swear to me that you will do it." And he swore to him, and Israel bowed himself upon the head of the bed. So as God said, he would die with Joseph right there. So notice the Israeli people in Goshen are thriving, and they're increasing in number, and they are gaining possessions in livestock. Whereas the Egyptians with the famine, they are not protected from God, and they have to sell all their possessions, all their land, all their livestock, and themselves in order to eat and still pay Pharaoh what he's due. This becomes important as we move forward, because in the future, when Joseph's no longer there, the tides flip. So anyway, hope this encourages you to get in the Word. It's very interesting to follow along. And for the very least, it will renew your mind and keep you grounded in the Lord. Have a great day.